I am parked up at the trailhead to one of many hikes here at Thy National Park in North Jutland of Denmark. I'm about to grab my backpack and head for the trail. Just before we go, a quick look at the size of the car park. There's probably space here for about 20 cars. There is a map over here on this post, so you can check out the route before you leave. It's also on the AllTrails app, but I'll talk about that a bit more in a minute. There's some picnic benches if you want to chill out before or after the hike, and the hike actually starts through there. Found this walk on the AllTrails app, which I've used to a lot of success in some of my previous videos, so we'll see how it works out this time. The hike that I am on is 5 kilometers. It is circular and there is an elevation gain and loss of 60 meters. I am currently, I think, on one of the sand dunes. The path so far has just been made up of sand, so it's been pretty hard to walk with trainers on, especially as I'm trying not to get too much sand in them. But I've arrived at a plateau. I'm only about 10 minutes in and I can now see all across, probably where I'm heading to actually, and the sea beyond it. It is a magnificent scene. I think this is going to be a good hike. I'm looking forward to it. This is where the sand meets the Nordic Jungle I've heard so much about. We're heading up to another little plateau here, and on my right, show you what I can see. That is just incredible. We can see the plains below us and there's a lake there in the distance, and this is the terrain that I am battling through, and it looks like we've got a lot of pine trees on this part of the trail, although some of them, like that one there, looks more like a good old-fashioned Christmas tree to me. No expert though. There are a total of 49 hiking routes here in Thy National Park, the longest one being 67 kilometers. That's called the West Coast Trail, so presumably that just heads all the way down the west coast. That would be incredible to do. The shortest one is just under 1 kilometer, so pretty much everybody is going to be able to find something that they can do, including me, walking through what is reminiscent of a tree graveyard. There is just tree after tree after tree lined up on the side of the trail. I have no idea what's happened here. Perhaps lightning, perhaps some kind of disease, perhaps the effects of logging elsewhere, or maybe just natural causes. In any event, the hikes in the park are designated into 3 different sections, so you can choose something that works for you. The first one is a mud water trail where you're going to get your feet wet. The second one is a sandy trail. That's the one that I'm currently doing now. And the third one is just a standard gravel trail. I guess they're the ones that are going to be the most popular to do because you don't need any special footwear and you're not going to get sand in your trainers like I am right now. A good example of the trail is right here. So I just came from over on that sandy ledge. You go down and then back up again, and the trail goes down into this little gutter area. You can see all of the roots of the trees here below, and the sand just keeps on going. It's almost like it's a little stream with a sandy bed. More roots of the tree there. It is definitely a wild place, no doubt about it. Climbing for a little while now. You can maybe see those trees behind me. That's where I've come from. But just up here behind the camera, I'll show you in a second, is a 270-degree turn in the trail, and it offers these glorious views over to National Park. Just take a look at this. So we can see the North Sea over there in the distance, these green beautiful forests and trees. There's a watchtower over there as well, by the way, but look at all these magnificent colours in front of me, all these shades of green, and then we come to the plains, and in the distance is a blue lagoon. There are plenty of them in the park, and it's actually not unusual for them to shrink and sometimes even disappear when the water levels are low in the region. Sometimes they can get much bigger than they are now as well. It is early September here in Denmark, and I've got to tell you, I have had it very good with the weather. I was talking to a Danish couple yesterday, and they were saying it's not always like this. The skies have been blue for the last couple of days. It's a little bit cloudier today. The temperature, I would say, is around about 19 degrees today. I've kind of gone off piste a little bit here. I've just checked my app, and I was heading in semi the wrong direction. So I'm trying to correct myself rather than going back, and I'm walking through. You can see a field of these violet plants. Lovely out here. It is very still. There is not much wind down here. I guess I'm being shielded by those big dunes over there in the distance. But I haven't seen another person whilst I've been out here. I've done quite a few hikes outside of England. I was in the Peak District a while back, and that was really busy, but most of the hikes I do in foreign countries, it is very, very quiet, and this is no exception. So I have cut some of it out. I've just arrived back at the path, but I've cut across there if I move my thumb, so that's where I've just turned up from, and that's where I should have turned up from, and this is the direction now that I'm heading. It's really easy to lose your bearings when you're out here, but at least I know that I can't go far wrong, because if I walk too far in that direction, I'm going to end up in the sea, and we don't want that. I think if I'd have done the whole hike and not cut this corner off, we'd have ended up at that observation tower on my right. That would have been the halfway point, whereas now where I am is the halfway point. So I'm kind of on my way back, but following a slightly different route. Should have worn trousers for this hike. This is probably the closest I've seen it, that section of pathway. And then we're back out, up a few steps, and then once again a great view over the dunes. That's what the hike has been for the last probably 10-15 minutes, kind of up and down as you cross the dunes on the way back now. Being a national park, it's always good to keep your eye out for wildlife, and I've been doing so, but I haven't seen a massive amount today. I've probably been too noisy with the video recording and all that, but there are red deer here in the national park, and that is Denmark's largest mammal. Closer to the beach area, you might also be able to spot a seal, which I did a few videos back. That was an incredible experience. Or perhaps even an eagle flying up in the sky. And with that, we face the most dangerous part of the hike, the return to civilization. We are about to hit the car park, I can hear traffic, and we are about to leave behind these gorgeous trees and scenery, forests, the sand dunes, the sea in the distance. It is about to go and be replaced by tarmac, but it always has to come to an end so that it can start again. What an amazing place. Really enjoyed the hike. Stay tuned, loads more coming from North Jutland in Denmark. Thanks for watching.